You're on 6 p.m. Prime with me, Shiv Arur. The Prime Minister has just made a huge statement on India's nuclear capabilities. I'm Shiv. Let's get you straight to the headlines first. It's the big Atmanirbhar defense boost for India. Prime Minister Modi announces mission Divyastra, the first test flight of an Indian Agni 5 long-range ballistic missile with a new kind of disruptive technology that makes it even more impactful, accurate and destructive. Supreme Court rejects State Bank of India plea to defer rolling out electoral bond data. State Bank asked to give out data by tomorrow 5 p.m. in 2 separate sets. Citizenship Amendment Act notification likely by 8 p.m. tonight. Big India Today news break. Sources say the CAA rules will be notified by the centre no later than tonight. Big setback for the Mamata government. Supreme Court upholds the Calcutta High Court order on CBI probe in the Sandesh Khali violence, says it will not interfere with the order. After Gyanvapi, another archaeological survey of India survey at Madhya Pradesh's Bhojshala temple. MP High Court allows ASI survey at the Bhojshala temple's Kamal Mola Mosque complex. Oppenheimer wins big at the Oscars, grabs award for Best Film. Christopher Nolan wins Best Director. Cillian Murphy wins Best Actor and Robert Downey Jr. wins Best Supporting Actor. India's nuclear capability just went to the next level in a huge boost for what India has demonstrated to the world as its self-reliant Atmanirbhar nuclear delivery system program is concerned. The Prime Minister has just revealed and announced the flight test of a very special version of the in-service Agni 5 nuclear-capable ballistic missile that carries a range in excess of 6,000 kilometers. This missile has just been tested across the Indian Ocean from India's east coast, but this Agni 5, unlike the previous Agni 5s that have been tested, sported something called Multiple Independently Targetable Re-entry Vehicles, or MIRV technology. Think of it as a missile which, after launch, splits up into multiple different independently guidable warheads, which basically allows the launch country, that is India, to target many different targets at the same time using just one nuclear delivery system like the Agni 5. Posting on social media, the Prime Minister has congratulated the team at the Defence Research and Development Organization for its mission Divyastra, as he called it, or mission Divine Weapon. With the test of the mission Divyastra Agni 5, India joins a select group of countries who've demonstrated the MIRV capability. This will ensure that a single missile can deploy multiple warheads, like I said, at different target systems. This system is equipped with indigenous avionics technology and high accuracy sensor packages, which ensures that the warheads reach their targets with the desired levels of accuracy. The project director happens to be a woman, which is not uncommon in the DRDO. Many of the most advanced weapons projects have been pioneered and led by women. The capability is an enunciator of India's growing technological prowess. Remember, India's self-reliance when it comes to strategic weapons has been absolute. We've never depended on anyone for our nuclear and strategic weapons like the Prithvi, the Agni, and the K series of missiles. And this particular missile test is only another affirmation and another huge statement as far as India's know-how and its scientific capability in the development of these advanced strategic systems. Gaurav Sawant is with me, our managing editor, who actually called it right. Gaurav, you and I talked about how this particular nuclear-capable missile test was very likely to be on the Prime Minister's mind as far as this important announcement was concerned. And we, as usual, bang on, Gaurav.
Shiv, the Agni 5 is a very, very crucial weapon, a strategic weapon of deterrence. And the fact that India is in a very hostile neighborhood, India's rise, the fact that we are the 5th largest economy, the fact that we aspire to be the 3rd largest economy, the fact that we are the net security providers from the North Arabian Sea to the South China Sea, India's rise is not being loved or respected by those in our neighborhood, and there have been multiple pinpricks. Now, Shiv, there is an old, there's a poem that very aptly says, Kshama Shobhati us bhujang ko jiske paas garal hai, usko kya jo dantaheen vish rahit vineet saral hai. Only the powerful are respected, and that is India's civilizational history, that even Lord Ram had to sit in front of the ocean, and for 3 days he kept asking for a way to get to Lanka. When he was denied that, he took out his bow and arrow, and it's only then that the sea god came in front of him, for which Ramdhari Singh Dinkar also writes that sach pucho to shar mein hi basti hai deepti vinay ki, sandhi vachan sampujya usi ka jisme shakti vijay ki. That is India's goal, that when to make yourself be heard and taken seriously and be respected, you need strength and power and deterrence, which is what the Agni 5 provides, Shiv.
Gaurav, stay with me. This is, this context of Divyastra and all that is very, very interesting, and it applies hugely to what we're talking about, given that Mission Divyastra is the name that's been given to this particular flight. I want to tell all of our viewers very, very clearly that this is not the first test of the Agni 5 missile. The Agni 5 has been tested a few times before. In fact, it's already in operational service with India's nuclear command. Today's first is that the Agni 5 has been tested with this multiple re-entry vehicle technology, which is new. It's never been tested before on the Agni 5, and that's why today is a landmark worthy of being singled out and applauded. Now, the Agni 5 missile sports a range in excess of 6,000 kilometers. It's a 3-stage solid rocket missile. It has a nuclear warhead that weighs 1,500 kilograms, 1.5 tons is how big the nuclear warhead on this particular missile is. The entire missile weighs about half a ton, about 50,000 kilograms, and it has a range in excess of 6,000 kilometers. Now, if I could just show our viewers that map, the map that we had on our screen in just a moment ago. Let's just get that map on our screen just a moment ago. Put that map on the screen, please. I want to tell our viewers. Okay, we've got some breaking news. I'll come back to the missile story in just a moment. The Modi government has notified the Citizenship Amendment Act, viewer, the CAA. The Modi government has announced the implementation of CAA, the Citizenship Amendment Act. It was an integral part of the BJP's 2019 manifesto. This will pave the way for persecuted to find citizenship in India. The Modi government had revealed that it was likely that the notification would be issued today, and it has in fact been issued. The Modi government has announced the implementation of the Citizenship Amendment Act. 2019 manifesto carried a promise of the CAA. Remember that there were widespread CAA protests, including Shaheen Bagh, for many months together in the run-up to the COVID pandemic, which basically ended all of those protests. CAA notification is out. Poulomi Saha breaking the story, first and exclusive here on India Today. Poulomi, the Narendra Modi government implementing CAA notification out now. Tell us what it means.
That's right. This is a huge, decision that's coming in. The announcement of the notification of the rules. Remember, of course, that the Citizenship Amendment Act, the bill was passed in Parliament, of course, in December 2019 through both houses of Parliament before it received presidential assent and became an act. And all this while, of course, the rules and the notification of the rules were awaited. It was assured very recently, because this was a part of the BJP's party manifesto of the 2019 general election. So it was asked asked of the BJP many times as to when those rules would be notified, because then it would then imply implementation on the ground itself.
Polomi, apologize for interrupting you. I'm coming right back to you in just a moment. News Director Rahul Kanwal is with us with the first view on this. Rahul, CAA implementation. India Today was the first to break that this was going to be notified today, and it has in fact been notified now.
Oh, absolutely. We've got in our hands the first copy of the notification that's been put out, and I want to summarize for our viewers what the CA rules really mean. What's being said by the government is that this is not a act which takes away citizenship from any citizen. That's the first part, that there is no Indian citizen who will now be denied citizenship, because one of the things the opposition has been saying, and one of the things the activists who are protesting in different parts of the country, particularly in Delhi, were worried about, was that existing citizens belonging to the minority community who may have entered illegally will be denied their right to stay in India. So what the government is saying is that nobody will be denied the right to stay over here. What is also being said is that this basically concerns those countries where Hindus, Sikhs, Buddhas, Jains, Parsis are in very limited numbers. So these are three countries: Afghanistan, Pakistan and Bangladesh. So these are the only countries that are covered by the CA rules that have been notified. Afghanistan, Pakistan and Bangladesh. And these are for 6 minority communities in these countries: the Sikhs, the Hindus, the Buddhas, the Jains, the Parsis and the Christians in these countries who have been persecuted and victimized over a period of time will now have the right to come to India, to settle in India, and will get citizenship, which means that the effort is that their linguistic heritage, their cultural heritage is protected. That's the effort, that if you have a particular linguistic or cultural heritage, the government will try and protect it. You will have the right of free movement, of commerce, of having your own economic development, to buy property in India. Those are the rights that have been given to citizens from these countries. There was earlier some talk about whether the Prime Minister will be making an address. There was a lot of buzz in the government that would happen around 5:30. Then later, because the CA rules were coming out, it was decided that let's focus on the CA rules for the moment. Let's notify those. Let that message, because we've already seen from Trinamool leader and West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee should put out a strong message against CA. So the government's tried to assuage some of those concerns, Shiv, in the notification that's been put out this evening.
Okay, the notification put out does try to, preempt and assuage some of the concerns that led to huge protests, in 2021, in 2019, Rahul, post the elections, especially in January and February 2019, and it became a really big affair. We saw what happened in Shaheen Bagh, etc. What is the sense you're getting from the government, Rahul, apart from the words that they've used to try and, quell any concerns or preempt any concerns? Are they expecting this to become a big deal again?
The government's calculation is that this is largely an issue for all practical purposes in West Bengal, because in Assam there's a BJP government of Himanta Biswa Sarma, so the potential of people protesting and becoming a very big issue is limited politically, because you've got a government that can ensure that nothing really blows out of concern. Where they don't have a government is in West Bengal, where Mamata Banerjee is very opposed to CA, and therefore that's where there could be a confrontation. But if that's the way it plays out, and if there is a confrontation, that could work to the political advantage of the BJP government, because like we've seen with Sandesh Khali, like we've seen with Sheikh Shah Jahan, it could potentially become more of a majority versus minority issue, which politically could benefit the BJP government. Therefore, they've looked at their chances. In fact, the notification says that this was a part of our 2019 manifesto, and we couldn't implement it so far because of COVID, which isn't really correct, because COVID's been gone a long time now. So it's not just, it got delayed, they say, because of the COVID pandemic, but it's now been many, many months since COVID got over. So they think that if it does have an impact in West Bengal, so be it. They're not running away from this issue, and they're willing to take it head on, and they think that it may actually work in their party's advantage.
Okay, Rahul, thanks very much for getting us that crucial input, the notification, the announcement on the implementation of the Citizenship Amendment Act. Remember, Home Minister Amit Shah has over and over again in all his public events said that CAA will be implemented before the elections, and the government has stuck to its word. Remember, it was a 2019 manifesto promise as well by the BJP. Poulomi, reactions still coming in. We're awaiting the opposition's word on this. There was already your news break earlier that the notification was likely today, proven true once again here on India Today. What next as far as the implementation is concerned, Poulomi?
Well, we'll have to go through the entire notification, the Gazette notification, in order to understand how soon it can be implemented by. But my sense is this is basically with the rules being notified, it is going to be immediate in this case. But this basically means there'll be a portal which will be created, and you can go to that portal and you can apply for citizenship. So anyone of persecuted minorities in neighboring countries, including Pakistan, Afghanistan and Bangladesh, who in fact belong to the Hindu community, Sikhs, Christians, Buddhists, Jains, they can apply for citizenship and who've entered India before the 31st of December 2014. So they have to go to this portal. They don't need any sort of major documentation. They just basically need to go to this portal, fill in their details, and if their documentation and all the details are found to be authentic and verified, then of course they will be granted fast-track citizenship, Indian citizenship, and that is basically what this entire process of CAA is going to be about. Today, of course, just a short while ago, Mamata Banerjee, West Bengal Chief Minister, has held a press conference, and she said that if this snatches away anybody's citizenship, then TMC will fight it tooth and nail. And this is going to, we do not want a law and order situation in the northeastern states in West Bengal just ahead of polls. And this is going to make things very sensitive, because this is a very sensitive issue. But the government, time and again, Shiv, has reassured that this doesn't take away anyone's citizenship. It grants citizenship to persecuted religious minorities from Pakistan, from Bangladesh and from Afghanistan.
Okay, very interesting. The opposition parties, Poulomi, are likely to make this a big issue. Just like how incendiary the CAA NRC issue was in 2019, do you think it could, this close to the elections, become another issue for the opposition to take up, or will they focus on the other issues that they've raised so far?
Well, expect the Trinamool Congress definitely, to go all guns blazing at the center as far as this notification is concerned, because they've already said that they will be opposing all of this. They do say that this discriminates among people, and, it makes certain communities feel lesser citizens of the country as opposed to others. Remember that this is quite a hot potato topic. It was in 2021 as well, during the West Bengal Assembly elections that I covered extensively in the North 24 Parganas district, which has a very significant Mathua community who've been waiting for this notification for a very long time. The BJP promised them, saying we passed this law in 2019, which means that we are duty bound to notify the rules as well, and we're going to do this. The Member of Parliament, Union Minister Shantanu Thakur, who has again been given a ticket from Bongaon in the North 24 Parganas district, has been campaigning simply on this one promise to the Mathua community. So his re-election practically stands on this. He has been saying that, in fact, he did get a bit of a rap on his knuckles when in the month of January he had told the people of his community, just give it 1 week, it's coming. For having set a time frame, he got a bit of a rap on the knuckles from the top brass here in the BJP. But yes, it was coming. He was right about the fact that, they were going to be notified before the general elections, and that's exactly what's happened. But expect that to become quite a hot potato topic between the TMC and the BJP in West Bengal going into these elections, Shiv.
There's going to be an air of anticipation and perhaps even a degree of nervousness about what the political fallout is going to be of the CAA implementation announcement that the BJP has just made, considering everything that happened in 2019 before the COVID pandemic. But it remains to be seen how it's going to happen. One thing we can be sure of, as Poulomi tells us, is that the Trinamool Congress is going to obviously probably lead the charge as far as the opposition reaction on this is concerned, given that CAA pertains mostly to states like West Bengal and Assam. So we'll have to see whether this becomes a larger larger opposition issue before the elections. Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee and the Congress have hit out at Prime Minister Modi, claiming that this is a BJP ploy. The CAA implementation is a BJP ploy, says Mamata and the Congress party. They're both speaking in one voice, which is a rarity these days. But Mamata says the Trinamool will oppose any discrimination. Why wasn't CAA notified 6 months ago? Implying why is it happening right before the elections? Jairam Ramesh of the Congress party says, why did the government take 4 years to implement CAA? So the allegation from both the Trinamool and the Congress party is, why just before the elections? Here's Mamata Banerjee.
আধার কার্ড যখন বাতিল করা হচ্ছিল আমরা রুখে দাঁড়িয়েছিলাম এবং আজও যদি কারো অধিকার কেড়ে নেওয়া হয় মনে রাখবেন তৃণমূল কংগ্রেস একমাত্র রাজনৈতিক দল সর্বপ্রথম সে আওয়াজ তুলবে আলোড়ন তুলবে যে মধ্যরাতে এমন কিছু করবেন না। এটা ফ্রিডম অ্যাট মিডনাইট নয়, এটা বিজেপির পরিকল্পনা ছলনা। সাহস থাকলে আপনি 6 মাস আগে দিতেন, 4 বছর অপেক্ষা করতে হলো কেন? আর হঠাৎ ইলেকশনের আগে নানা রকম বুলিয়ে উড়ে বেড়াচ্ছেন। কে নিয়ে কি করবে আমার ডাউট আছে। আমি সবাইকে বলবো চিন্তা করবেন না, ভয় পাবেন না, কোনো মানুষকে বঞ্চিত হতে আমরা দেব না, এনআরসি করতে দেব না।
India Today's Mosmi Singh also live with me on the story. Mosmi, nobody's forgotten, even though there was a entire COVID pandemic that happened right after it, but nobody's forgotten the intensity and ferocity of the anti-CAA protest that swept large parts of the country from, the Jamia campus to the JNU campus to Shaheen Bagh and all of those things. It became a really intense issue that was taken up by sections of the opposition. What are you hearing now? Jairam Ramesh and Mamata Banerjee have put out statements saying, why did you not do this months or years ago? Why are you doing it right now before the elections? Before I come to you, Mamata, Mosmi, I'm sorry, I'm just playing out for our viewers what Sanjay Raut of the Uddhav Sena has said.
हमने किया, कश्मीरी पंडित आ गए, पीओ के आ गया, लाने वाले थे। लद्दाख में चीन घुस गया, बाहर निकाला नहीं निकाला। अभी जब तक चुनाव है तब तक ये सीए खेलेंगे, खेलने दो।
कह दिया है कि वो इसे पूरी तरीके से अपोज करेंगे।
लागू होने दो, हम बाद में देख लेंगे। निवडणूक आहेत, राम मंदिराचा काही फायदा होत नाही। राम मंदिर करून झालं, राम लहर काय आली नाही, आता ही सीए लहर आणतायत। कधी हिंदू मुसलमान करायचं, मग आणखीन काही वाद निर्माण करायचे, जातीय झगडे करायचे, काही केलं तरी मोदी प्रधानमंत्री होत नाही।
सर क्या शिवसेना
संपूर्णपणे मतांसाठी चालू आहे सध्या। 5 वर्ष होती ना काय।
Okay, viewer, I just wanted to explain what's happening on your screen right now. On the left-hand side, there is security being beefed up in the Delhi locality of Shaheen Bagh. Now, Shaheen Bagh, for those of you who may not remember, was the locality where an extended protest took place against the Citizenship Amendment Act for many, many weeks and many, many months together. It became a permanent protest site that the government was unable to handle or quell. It became a symbolic site for protests by the opposition, by activists, by NGOs, by students, and by others who made it a kind of centerpiece, an epicenter of the protest and the defiant agitation against CAA. And now security has been beefed up at Shaheen Bagh, perhaps to try and dissuade anyone from getting any ideas about setting up another protest site against the CAA, at least in Shaheen Bagh. So that's That's what's happening right now on your screens at the East Delhi location of Shaheen Bagh. CA has been notified, security beefed up now in Shaheen Bagh. Okay, Mosmi, apologize for interrupting you earlier. Coming back to you now, Jairam Ramesh, Mamta Banerjee, expected reactions saying, you know, why didn't you do this earlier? Obviously, this has something to do with the elections. What are you hearing from the Congress, even in these early minutes? Are they likely to make it a bigger issue?
Clearly, Shiv, this is going to be a very big political issue as far as, you know, the Lok Sabha polls are concerned. And if you see the tone of Jairam Ramesh and what he slammed the government, clearly, you know, that does define the line of attack that the Congress is going to take. Already, Mamta Banerjee has taken a very combative mode, adopted a very combative mode as far as the CA is concerned. Now, the BJP has maintained that this is for the persecuted in Afghanistan, Bangladesh and Pakistan to find citizenship in India, but clearly the Congress and the TMC have said this is loaded with communal color and this is an attempt to divide the country, and more so with the timing of it all. Clearly there will be a concerted attack by the Congress, though the Congress right now, the CEC is underway, and we will have to wait for a reaction. But yet again, Jairam Ramesh, you know, the head of the General Secretary in charge of the communications, taking to Twitter, Shiv, really outlines that the Congress wouldn't want to miss the bus as far as, you know, slamming the government on CA is concerned.
Okay, the CA announcement is out, as India Today reported first earlier today that the notification was likely to be issued today, and it has in fact happened. Expected statements coming in from the Trinamool and the Congress party as far as attacking the Modi government, saying why didn't you do this earlier? But interesting images coming in, Mosmi, also of security being beefed up at Shaheen Bagh and possibly other locations as well. I'll come to you, Mosmi, in just a bit. Mohammad Salim of the CPM is speaking.
देंगे और जिसको पहले वो गाली देते थे कि वो इलीगल माइग्रेंट है, बांग्लादेशी घुसपैठिया है, ये आरएसएस कहती थी, अब चुनाव के वक्त उनके वोट लेने के लिए वो कहे कि तुमको हम नागरिकता देंगे, लेकिन ऐसे वो नागरिकता दे नहीं सकते, इसलिए रूल्स बना करके वो चुनाव पार कर लेंगे। और एक तरफ कुछ लोगों को कहेंगे हम तुम्हारे नागरिकता को छीन रहे हैं और कुछ लोगों को कहेंगे हम तुम्हें नागरिकता दे रहे हैं। ये कोई लॉजिक तो ही है बच्चों का कि वो डाल देंगे? कानून के तहत आप इतने आसानी से किसी का नागरिकता ले भी नहीं सकते, किसी को नागरिकता दे भी नहीं सकते। लेकिन सरकार, आसाम में हमने पहले देखा डी वोटर किए थे, जिसके वोट का अधिकार को पहले छीन लिए थे। अभी बंगाल में वो शुरू किए थे आधार कार्ड को वो डीएक्टिवेट करने का। तो ये सरकार तो एक्टिवेट कुछ कर नहीं सकते हैं, वो डीएक्टिवेट करते हैं। बाद में जब वो हंगामा खड़ा हुआ तो अभी बोलते नहीं हमारा गलती हो गया। तो अभी वो ये रूल्स को दिखा करके चुनाव पार करना चाहते हैं। इतने जल्दी ना कोई दरखास्त कर पाएंगे, पहले तो रूल समझने में लोग लग जाएगा। और ये सरकार हमेशा चाहती है कि कागज़ जमा दो, तो फिर बोलेंगे सबको सब तमाम कागजात तुम जमा दो। जो सबसे पिछड़ा हुआ, सबसे गरीब, दलित, मतुआ, नमशूद्र है, उनको ज़्यादा परेशानी होगी कि उनके पास उतने कागज़ होते नहीं हैं जो सरकार जो कागज़ देखना चाहती है। लेकिन चुनाव के वक्त वो इसलिए किए हैं, मोदी और ममता राजभवन में बैठ के बात हो गया है, दोनों का डायलॉग ठीक हो गया है। ये कहेंगे हम सीए लागू कर रहे हैं, ममता कहेगी हम सीए लागू करने नहीं देंगे। वो सिनेमा जैसा होता है ना, कोई हीरो कहता है कि हम तुम्हें पानी में डुबो के मार देंगे, तो विलन कहता है हम तुम्हें पानी पिला पिला के मार देंगे। लेकिन किल्लत तो पानी का है, लोग परेशान हैं, लेकिन डायलॉगबाजी चलता रहेगा। इस चुनाव में बंगाल में इससे ज़्यादा उनको फ़ायदा मिलने वाला नहीं है, क्योंकि पिछले बार ये दिखा करके वो वोट कर चुके हैं असेंबली में। तो एक ही चीज़ को दो बार आप नहीं दिखा सकते।
Modi government announced implementation of Citizenship Amendment Act. It was the integral part of BJP 2019 manifesto.
So it took 5 years to notify the rules. Normally, a government, after passing an act, they frame the rules within 6 months or 1 year. So why it has delay? Whenever festivals come, it comes according to the calendar. And CA question comes after 5 years when election is in the there. So during election, they want to use it to develop binary. Now Mamata will say, I will not allow, Modi will say, I will do it, and there will be dialogue-bazi only. But actually, people are not going to get it. People are now oppressed. People's desire is suppressed. their demands for job, education, the problem of price rise is not being addressed. Modi government has failed to evoke the emotive issues. They have played so many things. Now, as a last resort before the election is declared, they are declaring these rules. But I can tell you, in Bengal, the BJP and Trinamool won't be able to refurbish their image through these rules.
Okay, celebration images coming in from North 24 Parganas in the wake of the announcement of CAA being notified. We don't know who these people are. We can't identify them, obviously, but this is some kind of public celebration that's taking place over the notification on the implementation of CAA. So we will continue to bring you those different images and reactions from different parts of the country. I will on priority get you reactions from the opposition as well. We've shown you what Jairam Ramesh and Mamata Banerjee have said. We will get you reactions from the other opposition leaders as well. Okay, let's go back to Poulomi, who's still with us. Poulomi, you know, interesting how the last 90 minutes have been dominated by a nuclear missile, the CAA, the event that you're there at the BJP office for has sort of evaporated from people's minds right now. The election committee meetings that are going to take place over there, all those big decisions to take place, all of that kind of paling, before the might of these two big announcements that have been made, from missile to CAA.
Absolutely. No less another missile, the CAA rules notification coming in today, anticipated for the past 5 years now, since, of course, the passage in December 2019. Just an update now coming in from the Ministry of Home Affairs' handle. As far as just a side bit. Yeah. As far as the Gazette notification is concerned, as soon as the government informed us that the CAA rules have been notified, everyone rushed to the e-Gazette notification website, because that's where it would be. The website has crashed. So none of us are being able to download the document at the moment. But otherwise, as far as the Ministry of Home Affairs is concerned, it has just posted this on social media, and I'll just read that out very quickly. It says, yes. Ministry of Home Affairs will be notifying today the rules under the Citizenship Amendment Act CAA 2019. To these rules, called the Citizenship Amendment Rules 2024, will enable persons eligible under CAA 2019 to apply for grant of Indian citizenship. The applications will be submitted in a completely online mode, for which a web portal has been provided. So this is what we were discussing earlier. Like I said, it'll be a portal where you'll go in and you'll submit your details. Not many documentations will be sought from you, but the basic details will be sought from you. And when those details are verified, authenticated, citizenship will be granted. You will be on the fast track to getting Indian citizenship, if, of course, you've entered the country before the 31st of December 2013. A short note as well, of course, which has been shared by government sources as well, as far as this is concerned. And what we are seeing in that, of course, they're trying to say that, this is concerning, of course, fast-tracking the citizenship of those who are considered to be persecuted religious minorities, that are Hindus, Buddhists, Sikhs, Jains, Parsis and Christians from Pakistan, Bangladesh and Afghanistan, who entered India before the 31st of December 2014. And they've been, of course, facing a lot of persecution. And the idea is to, of course, grant them citizenship in order to pave for them to have, a better future. And those pictures that you saw, of course, and, that we beamed, of course, of celebrations that are coming in from Bongaon, Thakur Nagar specifically, in North 24 Parganas, West Bengal. That's where the Mathua community resides. So I'm presuming those pictures you have not seen is of the Mathua community, which is celebrating at the moment, because they've been waiting for this for a very, very long time. Like I said, they were promised by the BJP at the 2019, at the 2021 Assembly elections of West Bengal, that they would be granted citizenship, Indian citizenship, and they've been waiting. Some of them were drifting away from the BJP as well, saying, you just made a promise, you got our vote in 2021, and you've not kept that promise. But again, the Member of Parliament who represents the community, BJP MP and Union Minister Shantanu Thakur, went back to them and said, it's coming, just hold on, it's coming, even before the schedule for the elections are being announced. And that's what exactly has happened, and that's why you see the celebrations coming in from Thakurnagar, Bongaon.
After 4 years, the Modi government has walked the talk on one of the most contentious issues in its tenure, the Citizenship Amendment Act. It has just been notified. The Modi government has announced the implementation of the CAA, the Citizenship Amendment Act, just a few minutes ago. It was, remember, an integral part of the BJP's 2019 manifesto. It triggered many months of protests, including at Delhi's Shaheen Bagh, which became an angry epicenter of defiant agitation against the Modi government. But with today's implementation, the government has basically said, we promised we were going to bring it, and this is what we've done. This will pave the way for persecuted people in other countries to find citizenship in India. The act grants citizenship to refugees from Afghanistan, Pakistan and Bangladesh who came to India before December the 31st, 2014. The government has made the assurance that CAA will not take away anyone's citizenship. It is about granting citizenship. Following the announcement, security has been preemptively beefed up in parts of the national capital, especially the Shaheen Bagh area of East Delhi. Meanwhile, politics speaks with the opposition taking on the Modi government. From the Trinamool to the Congress party, they claim the CAA notification is perfectly timed right before the Lok Sabha elections, while Mamata Banerjee says the Modi government should have notified the rules at least 6 months ago.
আধার কার্ড যখন বাতিল করা হচ্ছিল আমরা রুখে দাঁড়িয়েছিলাম এবং আজও যদি কারো অধিকার কেড়ে নেওয়া হয় মনে রাখবেন তৃণমূল কংগ্রেস একমাত্র রাজনৈতিক দল সর্বপ্রথম সে আওয়াজ তুলবে আলোড়ন তুলবে যে মধ্যরাতে এমন কিছু করবেন না। এটা ফ্রিডম অ্যাট মিডনাইট নয়, এটা বিজেপির পরিকল্পনা ছলনা। সাহস থাকলে আপনি 6 মাস আগে দিতেন, 4 বছর অপেক্ষা করতে হলো কেন? আর হঠাৎ ইলেকশনের আগে নানা রকম বুলি আউড়ে বেড়াচ্ছেন। কে নিয়ে কি করবে আমার ডাউট আছে। আমি সবাইকে বলবো চিন্তা করবেন না, ভয় পাবেন না। কোনো মানুষকে বঞ্চিত হতে আমরা দেব না, এনআরসি করতে দেব না।
आदरणीय गृह मंत्री जी ने पहले ही बताया था कि लोकसभा इलेक्शन से पहले सीएए का रूल्स रेगुलेशन चालू हो जाएगा, तो चालू हो गया। हम जो बोलते हैं वो करते हैं। अब किसी की इससे तकलीफ नहीं है, सब आनंद भी आनंद में है, लेकिन हमारे मुख्यमंत्री को नींद नहीं आ रहा है, यही तकलीफ है उनकी।
तो अब ये सब करके हिंदू मुसलमान करेंगे, भारत पाकिस्तान करेंगे, भारत बांग्लादेश करेंगे। एक खेल, आखिरी खेल उनका चल रहा है, चलने दो, लागू होने दो। 370 भी हटाया, क्या किया कश्मीर में? कश्मीरी पंडित आ गए घर में। ये खेल करते रहते हैं लोग। अभी जब तक चुनाव है तब तक सीए खेलेंगे, खेलने दो।
कानून तो 5 साल पहले पास हो गई थी, लेकिन एक रूल्स बनाने में, रेगुलेशन बनाने में 5 साल क्यों लग गया? जो सरकार कहती है प्रधानमंत्री 19 घंटा काम करते हैं, तो 19 घंटा काम करने वाली सरकार 5 साल लग जाता है एक रूल्स बनाने में। चुनाव के पहले जिन लोगों को वो वादा किए थे कि हम नागरिकता देंगे, और जिसको पहले वो गाली देते थे कि वो इलीगल माइग्रेंट है, बांग्लादेशी घुसपैठिया है, ये आरएसएस कहती थी। अब चुनाव के वक्त उनके वोट लेने के लिए वो कहे कि तुमको हम नागरिकता देंगे, लेकिन ऐसे वो नागरिकता दे नहीं सकते, इसलिए रूल्स बनाए। रूल्स बना करके वो चुनाव पार कर लेंगे, और एक तरफ कुछ लोगों को कहेंगे हम तुम्हारे नागरिकता को छीन रहे हैं, और कुछ लोगों को कहेंगे हम तुम्हें नागरिकता दे रहे हैं। ये कोई लॉजिक तो ही है बच्चों का कि वो डाल देंगे?
ये नोटिफिकेशन जारी हुआ है, तो लिहाजा इसमें क्या चीज़ है क्या नहीं है, इसको अपनी जो लीगल कमेटी है, लीगल टीम है, वो उसको स्टडी करेगी, और स्टडी करने के बाद ही अपनी बात रखी जाएगी। और बहरहाल तमाम लोगों के जिम्मेदारान की तरफ से ये बात आ रही है कि इससे किसी की सिटीजनशिप नहीं जाएगी। और तमाम लोगों से मेरी यही अपील है कि हर तरीके से अमन अमान कायम रखें, और हम लोगों की लीगल कमेटी इसको पूरा स्टडी करने के बाद ही अपनी बात कहेगी, और उसके बाद ही कोई बात कही जा सकती है।
ये केवल एक डिप्लोमेटिक और लड़ाने और भ्रम फैलाने वाली बात है। ऑलरेडी एक कानून सीए के मुतालिक मौजूद है, जो बाहर के शरणार्थी जो रह रहे हैं, जिनको हमने शरणार्थी माना है, अगर उनकी डॉक्यूमेंट्री पर कोई शक है तो उसका ऑलरेडी एक कानून मौजूद है। बेजा लाकर केवल चुनाव के समय ये आपस में ध्रुवीकरण करना और लड़ाने का काम है, इसके अलावा सरकार के पास कुछ नहीं है।
देखिए, इस तरह की कवायद प्रधानमंत्री करते रहते हैं, जब चुनाव आता है कुछ न कुछ नया सी गुफा छेड़ते हैं, और उनके बात का कुछ पता नहीं होता। सीए तो कितने दिनों से बोल रहे थे, नोटिफाई कर दिया, क्या हो गया? वो बोलते रहे। जनता गुमराह होने वाली नहीं है। जनता जानती है कि आपने पिछले 9 वर्षों में देश का कितना बेड़ा गर्क किया है।
Let's just break down for our viewers what exactly the CAA is and what it does, what its intentions are. This is just as a refresher in case you've, are a little confused or wary about what exactly this is about. Let's tell you. It grants Indian citizenship to refugees who came to India before December the 31st, 2014 on religious persecution grounds. Now, countries covered under the CAA include Afghanistan, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. The minority communities covered are Hindus, Sikhs, Buddhists, Jains, Parsis, and Christians. And remember, the fact that Muslims were left out of this coverage under the CAA is precisely what had triggered the widespread protests that took place in 2019. The government has an answer and an explanation for that. The rationale behind CAA is that it removes legal barriers to resettlement and citizenship of persecuted persons in these 3 countries I've named, provides opportunities for a dignified life to those who've suffered for decades in other countries, protects cultural, religious and social identity of refugees, economic, property, free movement rights will be improved for all of these persons who have sought citizenship here in India. Let's listen into what Home Minister Amit Shah said back in 2019 on the implementation of the CAA.
पश्चिम बंगाल में भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार बनने का मतलब है शरणार्थी जो आए हैं उनको सीएए के माध्यम से नागरिकता दे देंगे। आज मैं आप सबके सामने कहकर जाता हूं, सीएए इस देश का कानून है, इसको कोई रोक नहीं सकता, सबको नागरिकता मिलने वाली है। ये हमारी पार्टी का कमिटमेंट है। जो भाई आसपास के राज्यों से प्रताड़ित होकर यहां आए हैं, उनके सम्मान की, उनके मान की, इनकी संपत्ति की, उनके अच्छे जीवन की रक्षा करना हर हिंदुस्तानी का फर्ज है और ये होकर रहेगा। दीदी आप चिंता मत करें। 70 साल से जो शरणार्थी यहां पर आकर बसे हैं, जिनको इनके मन में दर्द है कि हम वहां से शरणार्थी बनकर आए, आज हमारी नागरिकता नहीं। 70 साल से वो अवैध तरीके से रहे। सिटीजनशिप अमेंडमेंट एक्ट को पहली ही कैबिनेट में लागू कर वो सभी को नागरिकता देने का काम ये भारतीय जनता पार्टी।
Big announcement, big breakings, all of them first here on India Today.